We are looking at a booming Miami right now. Miami's mayor has been seeing an increase of technology executives moving headquarters there. Now he's inviting Twitter to move to his city as Elon Musk puts his takeover bid for the company on hold. Mayor Suarez says he has not yet talked to Musk about a potential move, but pointed to other companies adding office space in the city, like Microsoft, also in talks to come to Miami, Apple, and Cisco Systems. Joining me right now is the man himself, Miami Mayor Francis Suarez. And Mr. Mayor, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks very much for being here this morning.
It's always a pleasure to be with you, Maria. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
So assess what's happening in Miami. You've been trying to create something of a technology hub in Miami, and you've already seen some tech companies leave Silicon Valley and come set up shop in Miami, right?
We've seen a tremendous amount of migration from Silicon Valley to Miami. Not only big companies, but small companies, individuals who are sort of fleeing a high tax environment, an environment where there's rampant homelessness and crime, to a place that has kept taxes to the lowest level since the 1950s. We've kept our homicide rate down. We were down 23% last year. This year, we're down 40% in homicides. Our homeless rate is down to the lowest rate since 2013. And we want to be one of the first major American cities to have zero homeless, which is our challenge. We're leaning into things like sports and culture. It's amazing. Yeah, we're leaning into things like sports and culture. We just had Formula One. We're the only city in the world that has all the major sports and Formula One, which just happened last week. We're hoping to get a FIFA World Cup game in the next couple of months. So, we're focusing on the fundamentals, and it's creating a tremendous amount of prosperity in Miami. We're number one in the nation in wage growth.
Yeah, well, we've seen certainly a real migration to Florida overall, much better tax situation there, and you've got wealthy individuals going for the no income tax in Florida as well. What else is the attraction? What kind of incentives are you offering tech companies to move to Miami? And what do you think is most important for business now as you see all of this migration?
Well, I think that's the interesting part is there's very little to no incentives. It's not about incentives. It's about having a favorable tax environment. It's about keeping people safe. And it's about, this is a shocker, it's about being welcoming and inviting, right? And when you saw, Amazon get kicked out of New York, when you saw Elon get kicked out of California, from our perspective, we want creators and innovators and people who are creating high-paying jobs in our community. We want to make sure that the children who are educated in this community can stay in this community after college and have high-paying jobs and can create prosperity for the city. We think that, a prosperous city is one where there's low crime and there's low homelessness, which has turned out to be the case. So that's our recipe for success. It's actually quite simple.
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately, you're not seeing that in the rest of the country. I mean, let's face it. You've got homicides increasing in big cities. You've got crime increasing in big cities. But you're seeing the opposite in Miami. Elon Musk says his Twitter deal is on hold until he gets more info on this on these fake accounts. But he says a lower price is not out of the question. I know that he spoke at a Miami technology conference yesterday, estimating that the number of fake accounts is 20%. You were at that conference as well. What can you tell us about the conference and what you heard from Elon Musk?
Well, it's the All-In conference, the All-In Summit, done by Jason Kalanowitz. It's done by Chamath and a variety of others. So it's an incredible day of programming. We've had the Aspen Institute. We had the All-In Summit. We had the JP Global Conference this year. We had Milken do a Miami Institute this year. We're hoping to get Davos and maybe FII as well. So we're leading the nation now in thought conferences. And I think what the predominant sort of message is, Miami is a place of freedom, a place where people fled oppression, right? Whether it's from Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, of course. And we realize that government taken to its full extension only creates, the only equality it creates is equal misery. And that's the only equality that it's created throughout the course of humanity. And so we're fundamentally American and free market in our city. That doesn't mean we don't take care of the vulnerable, which we do, our homeless. And of course, We've reduced poverty by 50% in the last 20 years in Miami. So we're doing a tremendous job of just sticking to the fundamentals and creating a city that works. And that model can be scaled to the rest of the country, where 85% of Americans live in cities and 91% of the GDP of this country is produced in cities.
Mr. Mayor, let me ask you about crypto. You were among the first to come up with a great digital way to have a Miami coin. You also said you were among the first to take your next paycheck in Bitcoin. Have you seen any change in terms of crypto and the acceptance given this decline that we've seen in the price of crypto over the last 6 months? Way down from the highs.
Yeah, I haven't. You have to understand that crypto is still valued at $30,000 for one Bitcoin, which means that the market values it 30,000 times more than the U.S. dollar, which is the base currency of the world. So whether it's 10,000 or 15,000 or 40,000 or 60,000, it's still a multiple of tens of thousands more than the base currency of the U.S. I think that's one thing that's interesting. The second part is that really you shouldn't focus so much on price. I focus a lot more on utility. How is this technology going to revolutionize the world? And then the third thing is, how does it affect cities' macro economies? When you put it in dollars, we have the Bitcoin conference, which brings 50,000 attendees, tens of millions of dollars in economic development. We've gotten multiple companies moved to Miami, creating hundreds of high-paying jobs in dollars. And we have the FTX arena, which was just recently renamed $200 million. So that has a dollar impact on our economy.
Yep, great point. All right. Francis Suarez, always a pleasure. Thanks very much for being here. Thanks for your leadership, Mr. Mayor. We'll talk soon.